Good afternoon and welcome to Blueprint for Efficiency, a webinar speaker series hosted by the Yale Center for Business and the Environment and the MIT Energy Club. My name is Stuart Tekiu and I will be your host for this afternoon's presentation. Today's presentation is Transforming Cities and Towns, Energy Efficiency from a Mayor's Perspective. We would like to acknowledge the Emily Hall Tremaine Foundation for their funding support of the Carbon Finance Speaker Series at Yale. This series of public webinars will feature the latest developments in energy efficiency policy, investment, technology, and community engagement, with a special focus on the Department of Energy's Better Buildings program. In today's talk, we will hear how the town of University Park, Maryland is implementing the Small Town Energy Program for University Parks, or STEP UP, a 3-year project with the goal of reducing total energy use in the town by 20%. Initial results are extremely promising. Since the program launched less than 2 months ago, more than 10% of the town has taken the first steps toward energy efficiency by signing up for a home performance with Energy Star home audit. John Tabori, Mayor of University Park, and Step Up program investigator Chuck Wilson will discuss the rigorous logic model and unique program design that they hope will serve as a roadmap for other towns to embark on similar transformative efficiency programs. A little bit about our speakers. John Tabori has served as the Mayor of University Park for 5 years. A member of Step Up's advisory committee, he also is the project's business manager. He is co-chair of Envision Prince George's County and serves as the Maryland Municipal League's 2011 Annual Conference Planning Committee. Currently, he is working on the development of an economic forecasting and budget planning workshop for municipalities. Trained as a political economist, Mr. Tabori has written and lectured on a wide range of issues, including public health and anti-poverty programming. Chuck Wilson serves as the principal investigator for Step Up and chairs the Step Up Advisory Committee. Mr. Wilson is currently the Director of Development for the Alliance to Save Energy. He's previously acted as the Director of Finance and Administration for a $24 million infrastructure project in Kampala, Uganda, as a climate change program manager for the City of Ottawa, Canada, and as General Manager of Green Savers, a home energy audit and retrofit company. During the presentation, if you would please type your questions into the question box on the right-hand side of the screen. We will relay them at the conclusion of the presentation to our speakers. Please welcome Mayor John Tabori and Chuck Wilson to Blueprint for Efficiency.
Thank you very much, Stuart. It's a real privilege to be able to speak with everybody about this exciting program.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. My name is John Tabori. I'm the Mayor of University Park, and I'd like to just second Chuck's sentiments that we really look forward to this discussion.
So we wanted to begin by providing an overview of what Step Up is, and to sort of frame this discussion. And then it's a real privilege as well to have Mayor Tabori here, because as we talk about the program, his insights about how this is working from a municipal perspective and how it might work in other municipalities is, I think, really the key insight to be derived from today's session. So just quickly, what is Step Up? Stuart mentioned it's the Small Town Energy Program for University Park. It's made possible through the Better Buildings program of the U.S. Department of Energy. And University Park is the smallest Better Buildings grantee, both in terms of population and in terms of the grant award. And we really fit a small town niche. And you can see on the screen that our goal is to create a model community energy transformation program that can serve as a roadmap for other small towns across the United States. And so one may wonder why small towns, because modern geography will tell us that an overwhelming majority of the U.S. population now lives in a relatively small number of metro areas. So I think the sort of Norman Rockwell version of small town America that may have been true in our parents' or grandparents' generation has rapidly shifted, and now we're looking at an urban or suburban population. But if one looks under the hood a little more closely, the picture is very different in terms of the jurisdictional size of the towns, boroughs, cities, or villages in which people live. And more than half of our population is in a jurisdiction of less than 25,000 people. And when you average in the rural jurisdictions, the average size across the country is only 6,200 people. And so we thought it would be important to look at a model that could work in terms of transforming energy use within a small jurisdiction. And this differs in part from the typical, say, large municipal or utility program, which may seek to get energy efficiency gains or renewable energy deployed at a much broader utility catchment or statewide area. So we really wanted to focus on the individual small town jurisdiction. What are the goals of the program? Stuart also mentioned that the first and foremost was to try and improve energy efficiency by 20% by tackling that in about a quarter of the homes in UP. And there was an additional energy reduction target set through a variety of issues, looking at our street lighting and retrofitting. We have a local school here that the rooftop is perfect for a prospective solar project. We wanted to start looking at diverting landfill waste through composting. And because we are very close to Washington, D.C., and then we have a lot of commuters looking at a program to reduce vehicle miles traveled. So energy efficiency is the main thrust of the program, but we wanted to get some additional savings through these other activities. The last bullet serves as the model aspect of, if we can figure out a model that we can deploy successfully here in University Park, we wanted to package parts of that as a function of this grant project into sort of ready-to-use toolkits and templates specifically for other small towns, and then during the latter part of the grant actively work to circulate those amongst other small communities.
Next slide here is the step-up logic model. Logic models are used quite frequently now in experimental programs, and they're designed as a design tool in and of itself, putting a program together and taking a look at how a program flows and how you might control that flow and design it. And it's also used as a very powerful evaluation tool. It usually consists of the set of assumptions, the set of resources that you're bringing to it, and then it flows through the task to the immediate outcomes, intermediate outcomes, and the goals. A little bit about assumptions. Assumptions are actually those sets of ideas that we hold in our heads about how things work, and they are critical in the design of programs, and they're very often overlooked when people put these kinds of programs together. And one of the purposes of the logic model is to force you to actually put those forward.
I also, as Mayor Tabori and I were preparing for the presentation, we focused on the logic model because in my day job of working with the Alliance to Save Energy, I'm frequently responding to bid opportunities from various federal departments, and more we're starting to see a request in those RFPs for an inclusion of a logic model so that the government departments that are handling the programs have some sense of confidence that the responders to the bids have really thought through the assumptions and have a roadmap through the logic model. And so that's going to feature throughout the rest of this presentation, tying back the activities to this logic model.
The assumptions that we stepped forward with were that small town resources are constrained, and that UP is a typical small town in critical ways. UP is a typical small town in the sense that we have a little bit more than 2,500 residents, 2,548 according to the 2010 census. We have about 923 homes. We have 2 churches, an elementary school, and 1 town hall. We do not have commercial properties in our town. We're a residential only town. The typical small town elements from a governance point of view are we have a volunteer council. None of us are paid, neither the mayor or the elected council members. We have 7 of those. And of course, we have a mayor. We have a small municipal staff. We have about 25 individuals who are regular staff, and that includes the mayor. And then we have 2 professionals that are attached to us, a lawyer and an engineer. The division of labor is essentially we have a public works department of 11 individuals. We have police department with 8. That includes our chief. We have a town clerk, 1. These are all full-town individuals. Mayor is full-time. We have part-time individuals who do specialized work. We have a treasurer. We have an assistant to the clerk who does answering the phone, filing, that kind of stuff. And we have 2 drivers that run our commuter bus service, which is a little bit atypical, but an important part of our existence.